The Tennessee Titans and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, listen, hats off to the Titans. They made the right decision. They have gone with Will Levis for the rest of the season. They have no financial tie to Ryan Tannehill after this year, so there was no point in trotting him back out there. Why they didn't trade him is bizarre to me, but that's beside the point. 1.5 in favor of the Bucs over the Titans. 38.5 to 39 is your total. Steven, the Bucs team is just kind of odd, right? It's like they got Mike Evans and he's good, and you got Chris Godwin and we think he's good. Baker Mayfield is not terrible, but he's not good either. He's below league average, but you have some guys on the defensive side of the ball. It's just a weird game all around, right? Because now Levis being in there for the Titans does bring a different element than Tannehill brought, where he's at least okay to YOLO it down the field. I don't know what the outcome of that is to be determined, but I don't know. I couldn't get anywhere on this game with these two teams in the current state for both of them.
I might bet Tennessee in this game. I haven't yet. If I do, I'll pop it in the lines, free Discord, top right-hand corner of the homepage. You can find the button. I think I like Will Levis, and I'm hoping, or maybe just waiting for one of you guys to push back on me against that. You know, the first game, a lot was made about the chunk plays and the fact that they had a very, very low success rate in that game. So it was a little bit of an illusion about how consistent he actually was. Second game on a short week against the Steelers pass rush, he at least was respectable to me. If you look at the advanced metrics from week 9, and again, the tiniest of sample sizes here, but he was 18th in success rate, at least a substantial improvement from what we saw in his NFL debut. If you look at EPA per play, he was still, hovering around the average for the week, which I think in this offense, with the receivers he's working with and how much velocity he can put on the ball, it makes it easier than if Ryan Tannehill was in there, because you need somebody with that type of strength passing the ball to fit balls into tight windows. You saw him making some crazy deep bombs, like with a flick of the wrist. So I at least think it opens up more of an upside for them. I think Todd Bowles is going to want to run the ball on early downs every single week until he gets fired. Like, this is what he is. This is what he does. Doesn't matter what offensive coordinator he puts in there. And that's like a recipe for disaster against the Tennessee front in this game. It's a bad matchup to do that. So and the Tampa Bay defense has crumbled and melted against the pass as injuries have started to pile up here. So I'm finger on the trigger of the Titans. I haven't done it yet just because this is still uncertainty with a rookie quarterback making his third start in the NFL. But I think this is a big coaching mismatch too, with Vrabel versus Todd Bowles.
Adam, we don't talk a ton of props here on the show, but DeAndre Hopkins is sitting like 60.5, like 59.5, 60.5, 61.5 out there in the receiving market. As Steven just mentioned, like, this Bucs secondary has just been giving it up left and right over the last several weeks. And we know that, like we said, Levis is okay YOLOing it, right? And like, yeah, it might end up in pass interference and you don't get receiving yards for that, but you know what? He might catch it too. And so I think it's a smidge low. I actually have Hopkins projected out at like a little over 70. So it's kind of like 10 yards, you're almost getting 20% on what the number's lined at, according to where I'm at least from a projection standpoint. So I do want to at least throw that out there. Maybe if you're running I don't know why you would want to run a same game parlay in this game, but if you're doing that, like, maybe you would add that into that or something. But I do want to put it out there. I think that's a smidge low on Hopkins, given the quarterback change. Like, if this was Tannehill, no chance that I would be interested in something like that. But with Levis and his ability to get it down the field and get it down the field with authority, I think that might be a little low.
So I'll give you a way that I actually could see a same game parlay build. And you have to buy the narrative here first, right? I'm going to caveat the whole thing by saying you got to buy my narrative for this to work. I do not understand this game having a total of 39. It doesn't make sense to me at all with the way that these two quarterbacks are playing right now. Mm-hmm. And the fact that neither of these defenses is particularly good. If you believe that Levis can YOLO it down the field, and if you believe that Baker Mayfield has been a top 15 quarterback this year, and poke the numbers any way you like, you're going to find Baker Mayfield has been a top 15 quarterback this year. then you believe this game is getting over 39 points. And when we talk about same game parlay builds, you could build all of it around receiving overs and around this game going over. You can tie the two together. You could even play a couple, you could alt the over a little bit up to 41, 42, 43. I think this game could easily play to 45, 46, 47, depending on the weather conditions not affecting the game. There is supposed to be a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, but nothing that is to the level that we worry about it. So overall, I see a team that in Tampa Bay, Tennessee's defense is maybe going to keep it from its worst instincts. Mm-hmm. Coaching the bet warning here. Big flashing siren, coaching your bet warning. This year, on first down, Tampa Bay's EPA offensively, 23rd in the league. On second down, 27th in the league. On third down, 7th in the league. There's no big mystery. They throw the ball once they are in bad situations on third down. Tennessee wants you to run the ball, right? I should say Tennessee does not want you to challenge. God almighty, the words. Okay.
Pass funnel
You can't
defense.
run against Tennessee. Thank you. Can tell I'm playing a road game this week. You cannot challenge this Tennessee defense on the ground, and I think Tampa Bay will know that. And Tampa might get away from some of those terrible first and second down runs in a game against Tennessee. So overall, for me, the play is over 39. But if you want to play receiving overs, if you want to play alt overs on the game, I could see all of it, because this to me has the makings of something that goes 24-21, 27-21 very easily.
Yeah, I think this is like the sneaky, if you play DFS, this is kind of like the sneaky DFS game of the week that might end up like vastly outperforming what we think. The other thing is, and guys, I know when we talk about like, hey, here's an in-game thought, like you forget about it the second that you hear it, but write it down. Put something in your phone, like remind you, put an alarm in your phone or something, whatever. But to all of the point that we're trying to make here, so the pass attempt prop for Baker Mayfield right now is 33.5. If they happen to get down in this game, everyone here Rest of Country books dynamically prices these player props as the game continues, right? They don't have a run game to begin with. And if they get down in this game, Baker Mayfield is going to throw 85% of the rest of the downs, if not 90% of the rest of the downs. And if you can get a dynamically changed pass attempts prop, then Baker Mayfield's going to end up throwing the ball 39, 40, 42 times, something like that in this game. Again, it's just something you have to be watching the game and you have to be in tune with. But I like to identify these spots where, again, I'll write it down to make sure that I don't forget to pay attention to that as the game goes on, because it's a team that cannot run the ball at all anyway. And if they get down, Baker's going to throw every single down. And you can at least get an attempts prop bet in there and feel pretty good about it on that one.